Hello, thanks for joining in to what we're calling Chitosan Conversations. I'm Don Roberts, one of the agronomists on the team. And joining me today is Kevin Kraczewski, and we're going to have a little conversation and share with you about things we've seen out in our world, and especially as it relates to turfgrass and gramineous type crops. I'd like to start a little bit telling you about how I got into the chitosan, or let me back up and say, the word is kind of pronounced in a lot of different ways, and as long as you're having a conversation about it, there's really no way to pronounce it wrong. It's kind of like pecans or pecans, but Dr. Oz calls it chitosan, actually, when he talks about it and when it's used in human use. But we call it chitosan, or sometimes chitosan. So if you hear that word and you have an interest in it, then let's talk about it. So in my background, I was a county extension agent for a number of years with the University of Georgia, and then went to work as an IPM project specialist at Clemson. And we led a program which basically integrated pest management is wrapped around the idea of trying to reduce or refine the use of pesticides in most every crop. And that is, they use monitoring and scouting, understanding life cycles of pests and diseases and weeds, and then coming together with a plan to try to refine the use. And so I heard about this effort. At the time, we were about to run out of things to control nematodes with in turfgrass, especially things that were fairly safe. And in southern grasses, we needed to find something that was eco-friendly, and a company came up with a product years ago, I think it was in the 80s, called Clandestine. So I gained interest in that and studied how it was being used, especially down in Florida. And they were having some good results with it. But the application rates and the use matrix of those, that particular product, something went wrong and the product just basically disappeared. So I had it in the back of my mind that, man, where did it go? And then fast forward to just a few years ago, I had great fortune in a chance meeting with Mr. Robin Borden. And turns out he was a forward thinker too, and agronomist, and worked a long time in the industry. He'd come up with a very good idea of a very refined liquid product. And then it became known as O2YS. Well, at the time, I'm doing some consulting out both domestically and international, plus I'm exporting live plants. And I thought about, I kept looking for something that was safe to use on this side while we wash and treat live plant stolons, pack them and send them over to other parts of the world. I hated to think about using anything with any high level of toxin that somebody was going to put their hands in on the other side. So when I saw that, and I was talking with Robin, and he says, plus there's an anti-desiccant factor that goes along with this product, this chitosan and yucca product. And that product was called O2YS. So I started using it as a post-treatment, and the one factor that really got my attention was the fact that it's very safe. So that began my interest in, and I'll answer or talk about more questions later, but now I'd like to ask Kevin to jump in here and talk about his background and how he came to know chitosan products.
Well, thanks, Don. I appreciate it. These are always good talks to have, getting good ideas and different ways of doing things. We kind of came to the Bemasan or Organisan chitosan issue similar paths. My background in a lot of my experiences with biology and bacteria, and I was looking for a food source here in Florida with all this lovely sand that we live on, being a sandbar here. We have to feed our bacteria. So I've spent the past 5 years looking for a good food source. Well, lo and behold, through another vendor, all of a sudden, bam, I see this product. I know this product about O2IS. I find them, call them up, and it goes, I asked them, where you guys been? You know, I've been looking for a product like this, being a polysaccharide, a long chain carbon, feeding my bacteria. And I've matched those two up, and with great results. I get more longevity out of my bacterias. I get the properties of the chitosan in the soil and in the plant. And it opened up my eyes to what chitosan can really do in the soil, in the on the plant, with insects, with fungal issues. It's pretty amazing. So it's got me pretty excited with the O2IS product, the Nemasan product. I've been down here. I'm originally from the Midwest. Been down here about 20 years now. Worked with multiple different soils, and this product works on all of them. So that's great. Got into turf. Thought I'd be coming down here just to do turf. Well, that led more into agriculture, into some of the vegetable crops, some of the tree crops. So I do have a turf following and an ag following, and use these products on all of it. It's part of my program now. I basically don't recommend a program without it, because it does so many things. But it's a very exciting product. When you mentioned forward thinking, the whole company looks that way. It's exciting. It's exciting to have a product that has a real long future ahead of it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Right. So technically, O2YS and O1YS, the organic version of these products, were basically chitosan and yucca in certain concentrations. Then we kept having good results, and people actually applying these products into soils pre-plant in many different crops and including turf, and getting some good plant response. And then we started wanting to look at the nematode counts and the nematode species that were being found. And then we had people start asking us, well, let's do more. What else can you do for us and our industry? And so the brains of this company, which started out as O2IS and is now called Organisan Corporation, they saw the need for a friendly nematicide. So, Kevin, could you talk about the labeling and the difference between an adjuvant and a spreader sticker in those original products? Could you address that for us?
Well, with the O1 and O2 products, they are labeled as an adjuvant. They're not labeled as a type of nematicide. The Nemasan product is an EPA registered nematicide, so they have a little extra, I can say, properties to it with the Nemasan. There's some different properties in that jug. The O1, the O2, they will do similar results with different molecular sizes. So once you start using them, you're going to get varied, I won't say varied, but different results. You can use two different products and try to conquer a fungal issue or a nematicide issue. And then with the Nemasan, you can really take care of a lot of different, as you said, insects with it, even the nematodes itself. So Yeah, it's very, very widespread product.
So an adjuvant is something that helps a product that it's mixed with enter a plant.
Yes. Yeah.
Spreader sticker is something that helps to spread and adhere the product that's going in with this product with a chitosan based product. It helps it to spread and enter the plants. And so it's so interesting, and like you said, where's this been?
Well, and Don, what that adjuvant does too, it chelates, and that's the real benefit too. That adjuvant will make it work better and be mixed more thoroughly in the mix that you have in your tank mix. But the chelation is really exciting when you're throwing it in with a herbicide or a I'll take that back, not a herbicide, but a micronutrient type of product. Man, it helps both. It just hammers it in. So translamination, that's the word the word of the day. It goes combines through the whole leaf.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my customers are mostly, as I mentioned, the sod farms, and they've done some there's been a few cases where specific nematodes are actually in treatable populations prior to the application of these products, especially the Nemasan or the combination Nemasan and O2YS. And then within 2 weeks, they've gone back, and we can get a testimony. We get these testimonies about, and the numbers come back where certain nematodes are just reduced. I mean, they're almost to zero. So that's a physical response that we see, and then the repeat application of it is very cost effective on sod farms. And then this segues over to golf courses. You've worked with some golf courses in the South in Florida, and I've worked with some. In fact, we're doing some independent third-party research data collection on golf greens in the metro Atlanta area, and should have that information pretty soon.
Oh, good.
So we'll come back and share that information with everyone. One of the things that we always have to bring up is the fact that certain waters that are used in tank mixes are high in pH, especially if you get into a lawn care situation with applicators using tank water that may be a municipal supply. And the most important thing for these products is to make sure the pH is below 5, I think, below 5 or to 5 or below. And so then the guys at Organosan Corporation have also come up with a very eco-friendly pH buffer in the form of a citric acid, and that's another product in the toolbox from this company, and it's called Citrus. Your customers using that down south?
Yeah, I recommend that with the products all the time. It's an easy use packet. It's about a packet per 100 gallons of water in that tank mix, and it'll drop it below 5. So it's an easy use. You have to use that in order to get that real good chitosan effect with it. So we enjoy it, and it's all good. We do have some products that kind of will work better, actually. When your herbicides, when you lower your pH, they'll all work better when you lower your pH. Then you're adding the O2 or the Nemasan, and it just puts them on steroids. Everything works more effective. So that's really a good point.
Do you have any case studies that you'd like to bring up?
Oh man, I could go on for a long time, Don. Once we get going with these, the stories that I've got out that I've seen. You know, I did a grow-in for one of a real good course here this past summer here in Naples, Florida. His goal was to be the best looking course in Naples. What we did is we took tore up the whole course, all 18 holes. We added some poultry litter to that, about a ton to the acre. Then we came in with an Organosand product, the enhancer product. He came in and sprayed the whole course afterwards. We added a biology package. He put down a combination of sod and plugs, and he grew that in, probably he started in late, must have been late December, and he had grass growing in there by June the next year, and it was open by June this past June. And he goes wall to wall with Nemasand and enhancer. I was just out there the other day. He's got a few ant issues, but we're addressing that with the Nemasand. He has no worm issues. He has no nematode issues. He's cut back on, down to 30% of any fungicides or pesticides. Coming up on a second order product. He actually put a number on this too. It was kind of interesting when we were out there to see him when he first opened. He said the redesign of the course and the way the course looked and how good the grass was growing, it added 10 new members within 4 months.
Wow.
So you can actually put a number on what this product will do. And when you've got member fees of 20 grand down here, makes a big difference. So, we spoke, and he is totally on the program. Bacterias through the enhancer, through the Nemasand, and he does wall to wall every other week. And he's getting accolades to where, again, his goal is to be the best course in Naples here, and he's close. He's actually pulled people away from other courses, other members. So, and he was the only one that was really open through the summer. So yeah, it's exciting. So a lot going on a simple product.
I'd like to finish my list of people that we could actually open up for testimonies for other folks that they can call them. I do have a list going. I'd like to put him on that list.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he'd be happy to do that. I've got I've got one good course distributor here in Florida that's moving the Nemasand products. And tell you what, they're loving it. He has no problem selling to these guys. The golf courses like the product, and we're happy to sell to them. So
I have a quick case study up in New Jersey. I have a Cool Season lawn care applicator that has been on our products for a couple of years, and then he studied the ingredients and he found a more lower cost actives, chitosan and yucca, and we lost him last year, and he spent a year dealing with some things that he hadn't dealt with before, and especially in the disease realm. And he gave me a call and he says, "I'm back." We're back on track, and he really felt like, I think he's totally organic with his program, because that's what his customer base is, and he's back on track with the higher quality liquid products that we're offering. So that's a good case study for me. So we could go on and on, but I'd just like to leave it that if we can help and can provide testimonial contacts, we'd love to do that. And I'm sure you would as well. Am I saying the right thing, Kev?
You got it. You know, if they need to call, give us a call. We can help them out with what their needs are with a quality product.
It's perfect. And I can't close without saying thank you and offering the website address. And so if you got to us, you're probably already there, but if you would share it, and it's organosandcork.com. Thanks for joining Kevin and I today, and stay safe.
All right. Thanks, Don.